Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz. Come on, concentrate. Here we go.
I had no idea that was coming, but that was fantastic.
How'd you feel about it?
No, that was wonderful. Our next guest on the show is, let me talk to our producer real quick. He's here? Okay, great. We're here. You go ahead again then, Grace.
All right, so the man about to join us is not to be underestimated. He's one of the most beloved Chiefs in recent memory, and of course, he's always repping the Red Kingdom.
Plus, he's got one of those big old shiny rings, and he's here to give us this Super Bowl scoop. Welcome back to the show, former Chiefs O-lineman Mitchell Schwartz to the show. Mitch, thanks for being back on the show and making some time for us this morning.
Yeah, good to be here.
So, you've obviously done this before. You've been through this process. You've been down to all the pregame stuff that goes on with the media, with the on-field preparations with the team and everything. What do the fans need to know about what the players are going through here as we inch closer and closer to the night of the Super Bowl?
Well, this week is almost like a bonus week. You know, last week, Coach doesn't treat like a normal bye week. He treats like a relatively normal practice week. And so you're getting the full game plan, you're installing everything. And then as this week progresses, because there's extra media attention, I mean, we all saw Monday night, the media night, you know, every day you have about an hour before your practice schedule. For us in Miami, it was at the hotel before we left for the facility that you're dealing with media and you're talking to everybody. And so because the schedule is a little more condensed from a normal practice week, because you have more obligations throughout the week, you've already done the bulk of the game planning last week. And so now it's just kind of honing in on those details, you know, fine tuning things, obviously still practicing them, getting into shape physically and mentally. You know, there might be an adjustment with the temperature out in Phoenix. Although in Kansas City a couple days ago, it was probably warmer than it was in Phoenix.
It was so nice.
I know, but so this week is more of a kind of reintroduction to the game plan from last week, and then it's time management. It's understanding, you know, who you can see, who you can't see, what amount of time to spend with people, because you'd love to share the experience with, you know, everyone that's coming out, your friends, your family, but you're there to win a Super Bowl, and so you kind of have to be a little bit selfish at times and prioritize that as well.
Yeah, it just seems like a crazy busy week, and it's hard for, you know, people like us to put ourselves in their shoes right now. But of course, you've been through all this. So what memories stand out to you the most from your win in Super Bowl 54?
I think the first is just kind of the relief right after the game, knowing that we actually did win, because it was a little bit dicey there for a few minutes. And, you know, honestly, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I didn't realize that in the moment. It took me until I watched the game a few months later to realize, like, man, we were down 10, and then we, you know, had a turnover, and there's 9 or 10 minutes left in the game, and gave the ball back to one of the best offenses and one who's known for running the ball and chewing up clock, and we were still able to come out on top and win. I think we put up 3 scores in those last few minutes, and it was definitely a sense of relief, and then just the excitement after the fact, and more the bus ride back from the stadium to the hotel. That was amazing. You know, the bus ride to the airplane the next morning, that plane ride back together. It's those moments where you're, you know, celebrating together. You have all your teammates around you that really stand out and really stick with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be just an amazing experience, one that you'll always carry with you. Now, on top of everything you've already accomplished, you're also, I know, a pretty good chef, and I love following you on Twitter, number one, because I love you for your breakdowns of the games and different plays. Both you and your brother have really incredible online insights, but I also like to see what you post about what you're cooking every week, as you've got the web series Mitch in the Kitchen, where you're sharing recipes and cooking tips and everything. So I think people want to know, what have you got cooked up for Sunday? What are you making?
Well, for Sunday, the plans I've cooked up is going to my parents' house and letting them take care of the meal.
Yes.
We're still strategizing on what exactly that looks like. But, you know, I think if anyone wants to take a little bit of stress off their plate on NFL Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, go to someone else's house or order some food in. But I think the biggest key, if you are cooking at home, whether it's for yourself or for others, I would say do something that you're comfortable with. You know, I don't know that Super Bowl Sunday is the first time to be doing the exotic thing that you saw on Instagram that you think maybe this is the right time to try. If you do, you know, make sure you got plenty of time to deal with any sort of mess ups or restarts, because cooking is a lot of fun, and I love the experimental portion of it. But I think for, you know, that Super Sunday, you want to make something that you know everyone's going to love. You want to make something that's low stress for you, that you can get out there and serve to everybody. And, you know, the other thing is, I think we all love chips and dip. We all love burgers and hot dogs and, kind of that grill out food that you don't necessarily make for yourself a ton. But when you go to a party, it's all there and you're like, oh man, I haven't had French onion dip in forever. It's like, you can just buy that in the store pre-made and it's delicious. So I think you don't need to go, too exotic. So make stuff you're comfortable with. And I think, the simple basics people will appreciate as well.
Yeah, you got to go quick. You got to go easy. We, of course, have to ask you for your prediction. How do you think everything's going to play out this Sunday?
Yeah, it's a tough one to think through because, there's a reason the Phillies favored a little bit. And when you look at things on paper, they've got some advantages in a lot of different position groups. And then we have Patrick Mahomes. So it's difficult to go into a game like that and think that, he's going to lose or he's not going to will the team to victory. So I think the game, I think if Kansas City is able to win, it could be a situation where we actually get out to a couple score lead and Philly's the one having to come back. And I think that really benefits us. And so I think it'll be a high scoring game as well. Both these teams, I don't see, kind of that nervousness or the jitteriness of, the first quarter maybe is a 3-0 game. I don't see that. I think both teams are going to come out firing and they're going to come out confident. So I got the Chiefs. I've been saying 34-28. I feel like, I could see a 34-21 scenario late in the fourth quarter, and Philly maybe scores that last touchdown to make it close, and then we recover the onside kick and seal the game.
All right, man. Well, I don't care what it is, as long as the Chiefs come out in victory. I would prefer a decisive victory. I'm not sure my 42-year-old heart can take some of these close wins anymore, but I really want to thank you for coming on the show, for stopping by again. Again, I really do appreciate following you on Twitter and all the cool content that you put out. For a guy that never played football growing up, it's really insightful to see how you can dissect and break apart some of these plays on the fly. And I can't imagine what that preparation is like as you guys go into the huddle and everything. So, again, thanks a bunch for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me as well.
Absolutely. And like Bill just said, this guy right here is awesome on Twitter. If you want more of him, check him out. His username is @MitchSchwartz71.
Yeah, both him and his brother, they will watch plays. They'll go back and dissect about, well, the lineman pulled this way, which allowed this X thing to happen for Y over here. And, I just watched football growing up as a kid, and Steve DeBerg would throw the ball out to somebody and they'd score a touchdown, and that was great, and I never knew how it worked. But understanding a little bit more of how the plays are formulated and how maybe Andy Reid schemes different things offensively, I think it's really interesting, and it's more of a chess match than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely some insight there. And we do want to go ahead and give you a live look right now. This is pretty exciting stuff.
Oh, yeah, Patrick Mahomes taking the podium in Arizona. Of course, we're just 4 days out until Super Bowl 57. Kicks off against the Eagles. This is streaming right now on the KCTV5 Facebook page if you want to listen in. But it sounds like somebody's asking a question. Let's see what he says real quick.
Understanding of the whole process, so you can kind of find those little windows where you can get a little extra film study in, a little extra rest.
All right.
I think.
Well, it sounds like he's got a pretty long and involved answer here, where he's going to circle around what he's actually trying to say here for the next 2 minutes. So, again, that's on the Facebook page right now. Just look for KCTV5 on Facebook. Well, we're just 4 days away from the Super Bowl, just 6 days away from Valentine's Day. A big thank you to NFM for getting our set all ready to go. In case any of these items catch your eye, you can find them all at NFM's location in Western Wyandotte County in KCK.
And Bill, will you accept this rosé?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Right, well, if you won't, coming up and around KC, where you and the other half of your perfect pair can put some love in the air with a Valentine wine flight. Greg, thank you.
I didn't know if we were going to have to smell the wine and tell what it was, because obviously I already have an advantage.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
So funny today.
Golly.
I love it. I love it. Well, friends, listen, we've got some wet weather on the way. I've got temperatures moving into the middle 40s, maybe even some snowfall after this. A lot to talk about coming up in just a few.